Recording in progress.
Is this the right number?
I don't know.
Usually
Maybe nobody's joining in.
usually someone's in by now.
But they didn't, when I tried to push it.
That's all we got.
Well, Gary sent that out, I think, yesterday, right?
Here, let's test
Reasonable, and it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
I can't even get in to see my doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have a doctor. I used to have a doctor, like, Unless I make an appointment, outside, you can get in there, you don't have to walk in.
That's part of the other problem was trying to get.
In the meantime,
No, we actually checked, but we go to
Is no one wanting to show up?
Oh, I love that word. Oh, okay. My corny.
Forever.
Okay. We're starting the meeting today, and our lovely Madam President Rochelle is on vacation, so I'm standing in for today. So if we have, we could do, where's the flag at? Oh, right over there. Okay, so if we, I know, please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I think it's Sergeant of Arms.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do a four-way test, and let's do it right. How's that sound? All right. All right, do we remember?
Yeah.
First, is the truth. Second,
Is it fair? All concerned.
third,
Will build goodwill.
and better friendships. Fourth,
will be
beneficial
to all concerned.
Fifth,
Bacon, fun.
fun. Sixth,
Bacon.
fun again. Seventh, Kendra.
Jacqueline,
Woo!
awesome. Thanks, Kevin. That's great. So, Gary, you may be seated. Do you have an inspiration for us?
I don't know, walk away and see if they all sit down, shut up. I do have,
Okay, good.
going in the line of what Kevin and I's heritage is, I'll give a healthy quote.
Okay.
And this doesn't necessarily apply to me.
Only Kevin.
Don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing.
Wow, nice. Okay.
We're here.
Yeah, we're here. Well, that's kind of cool. All right, so do we have any guests in the audience today that somebody can talk about or mention? We have her over here. Tracy from Bridge Receiving. Thank you for being here today.
Oh,
And then-
Tracy Suarez is trying to say, she's on.
Yeah, but she can say something if she's needed.
Well, she's
Tracy,
fine.
you kid, nothing? Okay. Thumbs up, good, okay, good. Who's all out there? Okay,
I just think,
yeah, all right, okay. So today, we have spouses' birthdays and other people's birthdays. Can you believe this? So we have the famous Gary O'Reilly's birthday on May 16th, so there's something there we gotta be talking about when we do our happy bucks. We can sing, dance, or, do an Irish jig or whatever. Then we have the other famous person, which is really coming up next week, but I'll kind of throw it out there now, would be this lovely person over here, Linda Ralph. Happy birthday to both of you guys. And then we have spouse's birthday. We have Dave DeLorme birthday, right? Okay, good, yeah, that's sign language, good, we get it. And then we have, as anniversaries, we have Larry Rubel, who has been a Rotarian for like 18 years. And then we have Kristen Odegaard, 17 years. And then we have Tracy DeLorme, 29 years. Wow, congratulations. You're still here. Awesome. Woo. Okay, so there we go for the anniversaries. And we'll jump into the treasurer's report. Well, do we have any announcements? Anybody have any announcements for anything? No announcements, okay. I would say we had a board meeting last night and a lot of things were discussed. And one important thing, I think, was that the board approved some funds to get some new signage and some pull-up signs for Rotary and four-way tests and stuff like that. So that was approved. So that'll be kind of cool. It'll be very easy to carry around in your car or bring it to an event or something. So that'll be kind of fun. So that was great. We're kind of bumping up our presence, I guess. So that'll be great.
We have to burn the old raggedy one.
Well, we'll have a burning ceremony, but it'll cost $100 to attend. So anyhow, so if there's no announcements out here, then we'll move on to reports, and we have the treasurer's report. Okay.
And I'm prepared.
Awesome.
All right. So, just a kind of a snapshot of our finances. In the club, we have a checking account balance of $8,215, so that's a really nice, healthy working balance. And then we have an investment account that's at $17,950. Let's see, what else do we have? So, and then in the foundation, we have checking of $40,671. So again, a nice working balance, especially since we've got a little over 26,000 going out in scholarships. And we're talking about different organizations who put in grant applications with us. So some additional money will be going out for that. Ameritrade investment account is at $41,085. The Gowan account is at $80,925. So that all looks really good. So we all know the market's been kind of sucky. That's a technical term. But here's the good news, because I am a glass half full now, is that when you do your happy dollars, you're getting a lot more shares into that investment account than you would have last year. So your money's going further right now, and it will grow, even though some of those investments are showing lower balances right now. Overall, they have grown, so we're playing the long game.
Yeah, awesome. That's a great report. Thank you, Lori. And then we have Gary for secretary's report.
Board meeting, next board meeting is, June 16th at Brian's Lodge. This will be the last official board meeting of our leader of the Rochelle dynasty. And the next meeting of Rotarians in Action is on Tuesday, June 7th at Don Iverson. And we have a $2,000 check for sponsorship from Tracy and Dave DeLauro.
Nice, awesome, cool, wow.
We do have a letter from the girls, Days for Girls, thanking us for our contribution. We gave $1,250, which I think was a long time ago, if I'm not mistaken. They happened to make a presentation up at the meeting on this past weekend at Simeon. So I don't know if that was the reason why, because a lot of us met them, but anyway, we've got the letter. And that's it.
Okay, thanks, Gary. And then President-elect's report. So I have I've called a number of people, or I've talked to you in the hallway or whatever, and I think we have the slate put together, so we'll be, this is an announcement that probably the week after next, we'll have a ballot out, and then you get to soak on that for a week, and then we'll have a vote. I think it'll be like June 10th will be the vote on all the members that are on the slate, and then the new officers will be elected at that time. So just FYI, you have once you get the slate, you'll have a week to kind of look at it. So that's where that is. And then we're going to have a board retreat shortly thereafter that on June 11th at Lori's house. Thank you for that. And then at that meeting, we'll kind of go through events, what was good, what was better, what could we do better. Let's add this, let's take this away. We'll go through budget line items. And my thing is that maybe we need to add a few more line items on there so we can get a little more organized, but we'll see how it goes. It's not all about me, it's about you guys and the community, what it's all about. So that's kind of my report. And then we'll go on to community share reports, which I don't know. Don't see Dawn on there, Dawn Iverson. Dawn, are you on the Zoom?
He was briefly.
He was having trouble the other night trying to Zoom in. So does anybody have anything about club services or anything like that, or? Okay. So Brian.
Good, the street cleanup
Community
tomorrow
service.
morning,
Okay.
so, it's gonna be Market Street, so from 204 to Davies. Send out an email. What I'll do is I'll send out another email today, though, just kind of we're meeting at Hagen. Unless anybody wants to work the opposite way, and feels like they want to work out, they can start at Davies and come up the hill. But my theory is that I'd rather walk down the hill myself.
Well, you kick the can further.
If I trip, I'll roll down the hill, whichever it is, but all it means is down the hill. So, yeah, so we'll just, the road's not, it doesn't have a whole lot on it to really clean up, but it'll be an opportunity for us to be able to get out there and put on the vests and
Yeah.
community see those stuff, so.
You have all the best. You have everything.
So Interact is also doing a street cleanup.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're gonna
Coordinate.
jockey the stuff around a little bit, but yeah, so we'll be fine. So we'll meet at Hagen at 9, close to the Chase Bank.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
You get hurt rolling downhill, there's a fire station.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you. And then foundation, I didn't see Jim here, so anybody, okay. And then international services with Tracy.
Yes, Thank you. I don't have a report today, but Linda attended the meeting for me last night, which very much appreciate. So Linda, take it away.
I did attend the meeting last night via Zoom, and I don't have much to report, except that they are going strong. They just visited Honduras for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And they got like 50 new projects lined up to talk about and vote on. And it just sounds like they're super well received there, and you know, they want them to come back soon and get things done for them. So
Okay.
yeah, they're going strong.
Awesome. Rocking and rolling, it sounds like. That's
Yeah.
great. I did see a little, I don't know if it's a video clip of all the stuff they've done since they started, and I can't remember that guy's name, but it's pretty impressive.
It is amazing. Yeah. And yeah, they talked about how fun the district conference was, except for the COVID outbreak.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they had a good time.
Yeah, okay, thanks. And then Ron with membership? Good, okay, we're good there. And then, I don't see Lance on there either. I think on May 27th, just on his behalf, that they're gonna have the breakfast and the awards in here, so that'll be happening then. So I think they're gonna look for a few volunteers to help with that, because it'll kind of start early, and we'll need some people, some greeters and things of that sort, and the food layout and all that, so. If anybody wants to do that, please contact Lance and let him know that you're here to help, or just show up early. So I don't see Kristen Odegaard on there.
I did just see Don back on.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Don, is
now
he
he's
back
gone
on?
again.
He's gone again. Okay, well, if someone sees him, yeah. It's like last night, his head was there and the lips were moving, but no voice because he had a bad connection, so it was tough. Yeah, I'm probably at home, I suppose. And then scouts, we have, 2 units there, PAC 88, and they have like 5 scouts, and that's kind of how it goes. It goes up and down, and so they're kind of thinking about trying to rebuild a little bit and get more scouts in by the end of the year. Otherwise, they could fold up. So just FYI. And then Troop 88, the girls' troop. If you remember, they started with 4 or 5, and now they're up to like 26. So they're kind of a little disorganized and trying to keep the herd together and all those kind of things. So trying to make that happen. So I'm going to try and help them stay organized, I guess, within the scouting rules and boundaries. So that's kind of where that's at. And then we'll try and get them here maybe this summer when they're not in school. They can do a presentation of what they've been up to. And then, so Chris, anything on public relations or IT or I guess IT. Sorry, yeah, public relations. What?
No, I can think of.
Okay, good.
When you miss a meeting, you never know what might.
I'm the PR right now.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
The sound that comes through when you're on the screen from here is real muddy. I mean, of course, people in the back, then it doesn't pick it up real well.
So this stuff like the audio coming out of the speakers?
Yeah, the audio we get.
When you're on the other side.
When you're on the
Up
other,
there, yeah.
Oh, we are on Zoom?
when you cross over.
You cross over. Okay, so just that mic. I mean, I think Don might have bought that mic, that little circle next to that's the mic we're using right now.
I don't know what expectations should be for.
If people make announcements from back here, it's really hard to hear it on Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a solution to fix that besides like getting a microphone.
Or have people come up front and make their announcement.
Yeah, honestly, like.
That might be easier.
Yeah, we're limited to that's a big room, and so we either get like a wireless mic, which we could do,
That'd be cool.
Ken
So I know we
does-
talked about.
Ken does the board meeting setups, and that stuff doesn't really work as well as you'd like. So we could play with that.
Don's back.
Yeah.
So I know you and Don were working on
There it
some equipment, and maybe a microphone might be the way to do it. Don?
Nice ceiling.
Dawn. Oh.
That'd be me.
Yeah. You have anything on whatever it is you're doing?
Whatever it is I'm doing.
How
How about
Only that I plan to touch base with the various captains that we've got working on events. I'll probably be doing that over the next couple of weeks. I'll probably shoot an email first to try to set up a time, and then just basically a phone call.
Okay, and that's for the auction stuff?
The auction and the Aquafest related stuff.
Good, good. Anything briefly on club services?
No, that seems to be going well.
Okay, good. And then we were just talking about, I don't know if you heard the conversation about maybe getting a wireless microphone. I don't know how much they cost, but Zoomers are still having a little trouble hearing in the background, and that, you know, the consensus was either you come up here and talk into the box, or you have a microphone that could be passed around. So that's just some consideration.
Yeah, the topic of the idea of using an owl microphone came up, and they're not inexpensive, but we may just have to spring for it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What? Okay, good. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that.
You bet.
Yeah. Okay, so any comments about getting a microphone or anything like that? Or?
I don't know if the program would work with what we have, but my husband DJs on the side, and so I have wireless mics. I don't know exactly like if it's like hardware that has to come with them, or if it's software on the computer that'll help them work, but I can ask him, and then I just forget. Or well,
we would just need like some sort of receiver.
What?
We would just need like some sort of receiver to plug into the computer. So
Yeah.
we, you know, there's a couple moving parts, but we could totally look into it for sure.
We could try it.
The other thing is, I mean, maybe Ken would let us borrow the old conference phone, and we could try calling in instead of using, I don't know.
That sounds technical.
I mean, that's what we did last year.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was any better.
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think the microphone, that way it's right, you know,
Yeah.
that's just my
Otherwise,
thought.
we could put the conference phone like right in the middle of the room.
Oh,
and
yeah.
See if that helps. And theoretically, there are two mics that come off the side of that
Okay.
conference phone.
Chris, when I was looking into this last year, they make the boxes, the speaker, and mic boxes that you can chain together, so then you can have two of them, one in the front and one in the back. And they have those set up for $100.
Yeah, that's, we get the thumbs up for that.
I talked to Arlington the other, at the conference, and whatever type of mic and camera they have, it moves.
Well,
That's
how much
probably
you
the
willing to
owl.
spend?
That's probably the owl, because the owl is the mic and the camera both, and it kind of rotates based on where the noise is coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, the owls are $1,000, and I know Logitech has a solution. Depends on how much we need, what's our budget.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, we're trying to look into getting maybe bring your microphone in, and we'll see how effective that is. And if it's effective, maybe we just borrow it or we buy one. Okay. So maybe next week.
I'd say let's try the conference phone. next
Okay,
week.
okay.
Let's try the conference phone. We'll get into the wireless mic just because I feel like we're gonna need to buy like a separate receiver to connect to the computer. But let's try the conference phone. If that doesn't work, then we can.
Step 2, yeah, okay. Okay, cool, good.
Right.
Yeah.
He really wanted that.
Excellent, good, perfect. All right, so we have Sergeant of Arms now to do the Happy Bucks or the birthday guy. Oh, yes. Oh, fuck. Sorry, you're right. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I don't have a huge amount to say, but I am scheduling into July if anyone has new programs they're suggesting. And also, I was going to read her email, but I forgot to charge my phone and it died. But Gloria, who did the presentation on the Health and Wellness Fair, has asked, or she has suggested that we can have a table at the Health and Wellness Fair for free. And also, she put out the suggestion to anyone who owns a business, if you want your business name on the T-shirts they have at the Health and Wellness Fair, it's $500 to be advertised on their T-shirts. So.
Oh, cool, okay. Awesome. Thanks. Anybody else have anything to say? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, Sergeant at Arms.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
On your arms. All right, okay. A little disappointed in that one, ready? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Much better, much better. All right, let's have ourselves a little drawing. Can we explain the whole one?
Never, I've never done this.
Pretty cool.
I feel special. Just the last three, right? 805.
Not even close.
I got mine off a different roll.
All right, James. Good job.
$135.
Gary, what do you think?
Block that.
I want a couple things to drop, because that's right. Hey!
Did he win?
Oh, whoa! Unbelievable, he wins everything.
There we go.
Holy
You're
smokes.
winning streak. No, I believe it.
We'll get a lottery ticket.
Yeah, you should.
Unless you're up to lucky.
You was telling me to-
Oh.
I like it. Hey, Ken.
Hey, how are you doing, Kevin?
Doing good, buddy. Will you help me out with mine?
Oh, sure. I'm always sure.
I was like, can't commit.
I just-
Ken's gonna be there today, because he comes up with some good finds.
Oh, so I've got to come up with all of them. You can see, once again, the guy didn't have a lesson plan.
Pins and badges for starters.
I gotta
How
think
about,
now.
oh, the first one, I got one. If you have a button-down collared striped Oxford shirt. That's fine.
That's an easy one.
With the horse.
That's random.
Random.
Okay. And then if you have a button-down collar farmer's shirt.
Without stripes.
If you have a button-down solid green shirt. You're exempt, because it's short sleeve. All right, let's see. If you had a cup of tea this morning, can we have a cup of tea this morning? That'd be good. Okay, thank you. All right, if you brushed your teeth this morning. Who
Oh,
brushed their
well, you
teeth this
better
morning?
get a buck after that.
Oh!
Wait, everyone should be raising their.
I was
hand.
I can smell something.
I brushed mine out.
Smells like cheddar.
I brushed mine out.
I'm Venmo, but I will be Venmo.
I would say the rotary plaque takes on a whole new meaning.
Wow. Wow, it's really bad.
We had a
dad joke.
Yeah, you like
That's
that?
good.
He brushed all of them.
The next 3 months, huh?
Not Tracy.
That would, yeah, that would probably be what you're.
All right. All right, everybody.
Is it the truth?
Ken, do you have one?
Venmo.
Fine.
Yes, if anybody has a tattoo, that's a fine. If you have multiple tattoos, then it's a fine for however many tattoos you have.
I like it.
Chris, do you
Oh,
have that much money?
I don't have a tattoo.
It's quite revealing.
Where is it? Yeah, you have the caption.
Oh,
Here,
yeah.
I'll find it.
I brushed my teeth.
I think the sleeve counts as one. I'll take this as one.
Anybody else?
Should I pay extra money to see?
Yeah, I think that's what.
I'll show you my tattoo.
I want to see this guy's tattoo.
And you guys pony up. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I don't have a pony.
Where are we at? How much we at here?
Here, there's 5 to see Kevin's
There's
tattoo.
5, and the other 5? Any more? All right, there you go.
I'll throw $1 in.
It's super exciting. You're gonna be.
Jim
I
has.
don't know if I wanna see the tattoo.
Yeah.
I'll throw a bucket if you don't.
You're losing, Jim.
I know.
And if the tattoo isn't green, you owe another $1.
Is it a fire truck?
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what it is.
Or a fire hose?
Any other?
Does it say Nancy with a heart? Uh-oh.
It says I heart.
Uh-oh. Drum roll.
Oh, the pants are coming off.
Articles of clothing are being, this is a strip search.
Green socks. You should have a green tat. Blue.
Oh!
What is it?
It's a doggy.
Hold on.
Wow. It's a sheep.
It's a doggy.
Hey, Kevin, we didn't know that you had that when I hired you. I'm so fired.
Did you have that when we interviewed you?
I did.
You didn't tell,
There's a story behind it
Hey,
too.
Jim.
you didn't tell him you were dogging it.
So, in college, I was in a fraternity.
Really?
And we all got out and got fraternity letter tattoos. And there, and then, I think I was about 30, and I thought, you know what? I'm not in fraternity, I'm gonna do something fun. And so we had a black lab, just for the heck of it, did that. That's just awesome. Yeah, that's the story.
So you didn't get a fraternity test?
I did.
Oh, never mind. I won't say no more.
Yeah, because he put multiple Christian funds in there, we can see the second.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I only have one. That's it. Yeah. Okay, let's do Happy Bucks.
I'm just happy I'm happy it's Friday and, I don't have, I threw in a bunch of bucks already, but no, here's one. But prom is this weekend for the first time in 3 years.
You're going to a prom?
Yeah, I am. And for the first time in 3 years. But here's the thing is that, so, I mean, typically, junior, senior prom is around 500, 400, 300. Over 1,000 kids are going. to prom. Because they are so, and a lot of it is guests. So we have guests, and they can't be over 21 years of age. But a lot of it are kids that graduated last year that are coming as the guests this year. So I think it's pretty cool.
Where's that?
Yeah, so we were supposed to have it in Seattle at the Museum of History and Industry, but they couldn't do it because of some COVID issues. And then we couldn't find a venue. The Toledo tribe stepped up and offered the casino area on the back where they have the ballrooms as a venue, and they did it for a reduced price. So, it's awesome. Not only is it a great place, but they gave us a great deal on it. So kudos to the tribes. Yeah, closer. I love it. In fact, it's Snohomish County because
You
the
can drive,
farther away you get, the more chances for disaster.
you can drive drunk there and back.
Don't say that.
But you're insured.
Speaking from experience,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, 7.
How about over here? You guys look happy.
All Venmo, today is the second day of the bi-district meet for Lacey Track Field.
Cool, right on.
Got one jumper going to state so far.
Excellent.
Buck Miller?
Kate Triester.
Oh,
They scratched Grant out of the long jump. They took my best jumper. He's in the 4x1, the 4x4, and the open 4. Yeah, so they want to save his legs. I got screwed.
You say that, you mean your fellow coaches.
I mean, the seniority, the tenure, the guys that have been there 40 years.
You say, yes, sir.
Yeah, I said, okay.
Some happy dollars. We had a great time at the district conference this last weekend. A bunch of us went. We were this group with the second most number of members attending. There's no way we're going to beat Burlington, but it was a great conference. Great speakers. I know there's some health issues coming out of that, so hopefully you guys that were affected will get well soon. So we had a great time, and I'm happy I won the
There we go, because I also won the raffle at the conference.
Here comes the second Paul Harris.
Have fun, it's Friday and it's good. I heard already it's sunny this whole weekend. Much needed.
Very much needed. Looks like a happy table.
All right,
Irish brother.
Saturday night, last, at the district conference, I got a little bit of trouble.
This was good.
They had dueling pianos, was part of the entertainment. Amy suggested that I honor Bev by asking them if they do a birthday celebration. So I happened to see them before they went up to the piano. I said, do you do that? Of course, when you do that, it costs you money. And you fill out a slip.
What an honor.
So I filled out the slip and took it up, walked back to her, said, what do you do? I'm gonna tell you. She said, you're gonna tell me. I said, no, I'm gonna tell you. So Proud Mary came on and she said, that's your song. I didn't do it. Another song came on that I liked. That's the song. No, didn't do it. Then they get to the fact that we have somebody to entertain tonight. Would Bev O'Reilly please come up to the piano? So they wished her happy birthday, then they played a song from Mamma Mia, and they asked her to dance. Then I had to go up and dance. We haven't danced in 40 years. And she said, it looks like you've had too much to drink because you're not dancing well. So I got in trouble. It was fun at the district conference, like Jude said. The weather was unpredictably Pacific Northwest. We had everything. So it was a good time.
Good fun.
How much did you pay for all that?
$40.
Really?
Worth everything.
Another very happy table.
Yes, yes, so here's a happy buck. I know it sounds silly, but I don't have a lot of control over my calendar. So there was a big fight between I have a campaign staff and the Secretary of State staff. Big fight between those two and me, because I just want to carve out a few hours in Aquafest so I can actually work in a Rotary booth or something. And I was successful there, so they gave me a couple of hours. I had to justify it. I won, so that's good. I mean, I am the boss, damn it. I should win something. And then the other, another happy buck is, I've been trying to do it for years, but in Memorial Day is coming up soon. But I've been wanting to create a memorial for the fallen 115 Washingtonians that died in the global war on terrorism. And finally got that through the legislature, and the treasurer's office created an account. So I'll be part of a thing I'll be doing this year's raising money for this memorial, because a lot of the memorials on our Capitol grounds are paid for private dollars and public dollars. So my goal is to try to raise enough money so that when I go to the legislature next year or the year after that, we can get a public match so we can build this memorial for our fallen service members. And then at the memorial, we'll have another site there for those service members for all the wars that, committed suicide, kind of like a reflection site. So I'm happy to get this for my brothers and sisters.
I have $5 for being AWOL. I've been on Zoom, but last March I retired, but then I failed. So right now, I'm an interim nursing home administrator down in North Seattle at a 200-bed nursing home and a 50-bed assisted living facility. And I'm going to be there till the end of September. So I commute down, unfortunately, to North Seattle. But I enjoy it. It's a good mission. It's a good mission work, taking care of a lot of people who don't have family, and my staff is their family, and it's good work. I love it.
Okay.
I'll stand up for this one because this week I went to Aberdeen, Washington.
No, your Tesla took you.
And the Tesla took that. Okay, and we exchanged banners. So I bring back a banner from Aberdeen for our club. And we've got a whole bunch of banners around someplace. But anyhow, as Larry said, the Tesla took me. We drove a total of over 350 miles. Okay, and I checked my phone this morning, and it tells me in the last 31 days, including the trip to Aberdeen, I have spent $19. So it was not an expensive trip for driving. What would it cost you to go there?
$19 a gallon.
Okay, well anyhow, here's the banner. Okay.
Plus, he also gave me a rotary makeup, like
Right.
he needs one.
Does anybody need one? Does anybody need a makeup? I will donate that.
Are you trying to sell this?
Yeah.
What took you to Aberdeen?
Okay, here's my $5 anyhow.
What took you to Aberdeen?
His brother.
I've been on my monthly money, but I'm very happy the yard is dried out enough I can go work in the garden without getting mud and splashing all over my goggles.
Yeah, it's good. Be more to come this weekend.
I'm happy Friday, yeah, and we busy Saturday. My son called and had a plumbing issue in the crawl space, so I hope it doesn't come to be a crappy house. So we're gonna be down in the crawl space, right, so I don't know.
Hey, Zoomers, let's hear from you.
I'll start. I have to apologize to the board members. I don't know why I didn't mention this last night, but drum roll please. Lakeside Endo is going to be a sponsor again this year, so I'm excited. He didn't say how much. He said, just, should I send you the check? I'm like, yeah, send us the check. So he's done 2,000 last year and the year before, so I'm thinking it's going to be 2,000, but we'll see. He's a great sponsor. So Shaheen Edamati, if you need a root canal, he is the guy to see. So I'll Venmo $5 in to say happy day.
Right on. Cool. John, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. So I throw $10 in. I'm very happy. Next weekend I'm headed to San Diego, my grandson's graduation, and very happy for him. He's headed to Rensselaer Polytech in New York to go to college. That's really terrific.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good trip. Uh-oh. Well, please have a good trip.
Thank you. I'll have a wonderful trip.
Hey, Don, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Good to see you.
Right back at you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm happy to hear about Steve's memorial idea. I think that's pretty cool. Totally support that. I'm happy that everybody is speaking up loud enough so that I can hear everybody just fine. So that's cool. This is one of the first times I've actually been able to critique the microphone from home, actually. So that's worked out really well. Anyhow, 10 happy bucks for lots of good reasons.
Nice. Good stuff. Thank you. Jack? All right. Angie's phone?
Well, there are some happy bucks from Kyle before he left.
Okay.
In the chat. He says, 10 happy bucks, mine's for having wonderful weather. We're having the next couple of days, and because it's Friday, have a great weekend.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Thank you. Joyce, good morning.
Good morning.
We're happy you're here. Good stuff.
I have two happy things I'm happy about, and I won't be there Saturday because I'm gonna be at a gender reveal for my great kid. I don't know if it's daughters, but we'll find out tomorrow. And my son, who lives in Chile, is coming for the summer, and Thursday, he's always a cry fest. Happy cry fest when he gets. Yeah, I get to see him once a year or less.
What is he doing?
He's lots of things. He's got an organic garden. He grows for restaurants, and he's a sea kayak instructor. And he has 3 kids and wife, many things. Yeah.
All right, well, I will throw in a happy 5 for the weather, and it's Friday, and I also won't be able to make the street cleanup. I have some friends who have suckered me into volunteering. They are a couple of carpenters, and I don't know if you guys have heard, they're working on Debbie Brand's new store. When they heard that she was moving up here from Seattle because of the break-in, they're donating all of their time, and so we've done this a couple weekends now to get her set up. So I told them I would go help with that. In reality, I'm a computer geek. It's gonna be carrying tools, but that's about it. But yeah, they saw that news story. This was that you mentioned, right? Like, we're gonna help her out. So.
Does she know that?
Oh yeah, she does. She's been there. She's met him. This is the second week we're working on getting that store set up.
I know she's posted pictures, but I didn't know she knew they were going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, Kendra?
$500 Friday, happy in the mirror, and I'm opening my private practice again. I've been with the group practice, but I'm opening back up, and in 2 weeks, I'm doing a presentation on it here, so don't miss it.
Oh, good.
It's a unique type of therapy that Stoneham County doesn't have yet, so I'm very excited to start it.
Cool. Good. Excellent.
Okay, so I'm happy about it because Mike and I are running away from home this weekend. And, we're gonna go camping just for a couple days and just relax.
You feed the chickens.
You know, they've got their whole gourmet set up for them. So they're fine. And then the other happy stuff is, you know, there's a story about this 96-year-old man who went on a road trip with his baby brother who's 95. They got home safe.
In a Tesla.
I am happy. I'm happy to be here, and you're happy everybody.
Thanks for being here. And I'm gonna throw in a couple happy bucks, just for all the happiness in this room. So good to see everybody. Hey. There we go.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
It was great. So our program will be introduced by Kendra here and Tracy from Bridge Receiving.
Well, and that's pretty much my intro. I'll make it short and sweet. This is Tracy Revsello from the Bridge Receiving Center, which some of you may remember from 2018 or 2019. Yeah, so take it away. I'm a little technically challenged, so
Your son drives? Okay.
I have a thumb drive. And then is there a clicker, or do I just?
There is a clicker, yeah. I don't know if we have enough USBs for it, though, unfortunately.
Well, that's okay. I can just,
Okay.
if you just tell me how to hit the screen, while you're setting that up. Yeah, so it's great to be back. I don't remember if it was 2018 or 2019, but before I forget, brochures. If you want one. My father's a Rotarian with the Downtown Seattle Rotary. So he passed away in 2012, but I have a soft spot in my heart, and I don't get to speak to a lot of Rotaries. So Kiwanis, I seem to be on Kiwanis circle. So yeah, it's really nice to be here. I appreciate you guys listening. So yeah, well, last time I was here, Bridge Receiving Center was a vision and an idea and a concept, and now we are a reality. We are cooking, and we opened up August 2020. So in the middle of the pandemic, we launched, and yeah, there's our, and I just will touch the screen.
Yeah, just need the arrow.
The arrow, or not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wait.
Okay, yeah, it'll be a little bit like.
The arrow? Okay. So yeah, so we are a healing start for children just entering foster care. So real quick, I won't read all this. This is the problem we're trying to solve. The kids in Washington State have incredible obstacles that they're up against when they're brought into foster care. The way the state has been, and this is no fault of it, it's just the system. We don't have enough families to take children. We don't have any resources that were adequately pointed towards the children themselves to help prepare them for what they're about to enter into. And it's just been a really hard system that's actually been taking traumatized children. So children are removed due to abuse and neglect. And honestly, the system's been traumatizing them further. So Bridge Receiving Center was created to try and solve that problem for these kids coming into care for the very first time. So you can see through there, every child that's come to Bridge Receiving Center has thought it was their fault that the family had an issue. And so that's part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to eliminate children spending the night in motel rooms with 2 social workers and spending the day in the social worker office, listening to them call, trying to find a place where they can go. Because that's what they're doing. They're sitting in there hearing, nope, will you take them? Nope, will you take them? Can I pay you to take them? And the children that come with their siblings aren't being sent together. So all of this has been leading to really tragic outcomes. So all the issues that we deal with in society, almost every single one has a foster care connection. You can see the statistics down below. 74% of inmates, 80% of death row inmates, 60% of child sex trafficking victims, all of them have a direct connection to foster care. So children that have done nothing but receive treatment that wasn't deserved are then put into a system where they don't build trust, they don't feel secure, they're bounced from place to place to place. So all of that, Bridge was inspired by one boy who came to our co-founders to a dinner, and there was a bunch of former foster kids, they were all homeless, living on the streets of Seattle, and they were having a contest over how many placements, who had the most placements. And he had gone to the street after 50 placements in 5 years. He had put himself into the system at the age of 13 after having his arm broken yet again by his father. He called himself in and said, please get me out of this. And he said at that time, I wish I'd never reported myself in. It was easier to take the beatings than what the foster care system did to me. So he's actually been to Bridge and before we launched and got to see what was inspired by him. Beautiful, beautiful thing. So anyway, we really feel like something needed to be done about the tragic system of how kids enter into care. There's all sorts of issues with kids in the middle of care and how kids are exiting out of care. But we had to start somewhere. So we decided to start at the beginning. And then after we get this going, maybe we can deal with middle of care, having some kind of a bridge system for them and having another bridge system for kids trying to get out of care. But 30,000 foot level. Oh, my picture went sideways. How weird is that? It wasn't sideways on the thing. Well, there you go. You don't have to climb up to get into Bridge, but when you walk into Bridge, the first thing the kids see is that big giant sign on the wall. This is a safe place. That's the #1 thing. So those are just some, like I call it, the 30,000 foot. We are a nonprofit 501c3. We're run by executive director, board of directors. Our leadership, you can see what's on there. We have 2 managers over the program, a clinical therapist who is also our case manager, and an educational coordinator, 20 direct care staff providers, and then 25 plus volunteers, 75% of the funds to run Bridge. I fundraise out in the community. So the state gives, it's actually more than that now I raise. The state gives less than 25%. And our future plans include 2 more bridges. We were going to try and launch one this fall. We decided to wait just a little bit. COVID kind of put us off our markers for a bit. But the next one will be King County, and then after that, Pierce County. So, but here's the bridge difference. And sorry, I know this is a lot of text. I won't read it all. But Bridge serves children ages 4 to 17 years old, first time into care. So children that have been removed due to abuse and neglect can come to Bridge. Usually they come to Bridge in the back of a police car. So usually it's in the middle of the night. I don't think we've ever placed a child before 9 o'clock at night. So they come to Bridge and they're actually able to stay at Bridge for 30 to 60 days or longer. That 4 to 17, it says, or younger if needed. We currently have a 2 and a 3-year-old. We got a waiver on our contract to take some siblings in that were 2 and 3 years old. But for the most part, we like 4 to 17 because we have a camp connection, and the camp is really geared towards older kids. So our longest boy has stayed 115 days, but kids come to Bridge, trauma-informed care. From the moment they get there, it's all about them. It's one of the only experiences that I know of in foster care where it has nothing to do with anybody but them. So it's your hurts, your needs, your wants, what's going on, your story. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's help you understand how to process it. Let's help you understand what's going to happen going forward. And siblings can stay together. So it's a really exciting program. We've got educational assessments and all of that. Lake Stevens School District has been a gift to us because our facility is in Lake Stevens. And when kids can't go to their school of origin, they go to Lake Stevens School District, and the school district's been great with that. So all of this other stuff going on, lots of therapy, life skills training, safe place for all. Security is key. Our kids have come from very insecure environments, so we're trying to make them feel stable and safe. I'm gonna go through this fast. Here's a day in the life of Bridge Receiving Center. So just some pictures of some of the kids and what they're doing. So you can see them out on activities. We have horse therapy. We have lots of school activities. The climbing wall is we partner with Cedar Springs Camp. So our kids get to go to Cedar Springs a couple times a week on their own with our staff and their staff working together to really help them get some really good experiences. Camp is a great way to overcome fear, to learn how to build resilience, to learn how to trust others. So there's lots of good, and then just to have fun, because these are kids and we want them to have fun. So those are just some pictures to show you. So we have just added, the state of Washington has just changed the way children enter into foster care. Just changed within the last month. Legislation has passed. So now it is harder to get kids into foster care, honestly. Was met with good intentions, really good intentions, because they were trying to deal with some of the racial inequity, because neglect and poverty are really hard sometimes to wean out. Is this a child being neglected purposefully, or is this a child whose family just doesn't have enough resources? So what they did was make it harder. So it's harder to remove a child for neglect now. And abuse takes a couple of more instances, unfortunately, in a child's life before they'll remove them. So all of us in the foster care industry were like, oh my gosh, this is actually, what are we going to do? Because kids, there are some kids that really need to come out and have that space. So we have now proposed to the state of Washington and been accepted. We have 2 children there right now under this provision. So we now work with the state's Family Preservation Services to help families before their kids are pulled out of their homes. So when there's a parent that's having an issue and they need some resources and support, that child can come to Bridge Receiving Center. They don't give up custody of their child. I mean, it's temporarily under the state, but they don't lose custody of their child. Child comes to Bridge for 30 days or longer if needed, while the parent does a short jail term, goes to treatment, or just does what they need to do in order to prevent their child being pulled from their home, hopefully. That's the goal for the parents. And we get to then also do lots of trauma care with the children and help them understand what's happening in mom or dad's life. Help them understand that it's not their fault. Help them understand that their reactions to something from the trauma they've experienced will be different than other kids, and that that's okay. And they get to meet other children in the exact same situation they're in. One of the best parts of Bridge is that in a typical foster care system, you have new to care kids with kids that have been there for a long time. That boy I told you about, the 50 placements in 5 years, his first placement, he was put in basically juvenile detention because there was no place to put him. So he went in and he was sitting in the waiting area with one of the boys, and the boy said, "What are you in for?" He said, "I guess my dad beating me." And he went, "Oh, just wait. You're going to get beaten even more here, and you'll probably get raped. And this is what you'll need to do to protect yourself." So day one, he had a big wall up, which is part of why he had 50 placements, because he wasn't going to let anybody get to him. So we don't want that at Bridge. We want children to know that you're just here with other kids, brand new in the system. Some of these kids are going to go back home. Some of them aren't. Every one of you is here for a reason, and this is only for you. So we're just really trying to help those kids. I'm excited about this because it's a preventative measure. It will prevent abuse and neglect in the life of the child while the parent's trying to work on those issues. It'll also help that child feel even stronger going back home. And it'll help the parents, many of whom just really do need some support in order to work through what they've got to work through. So as a mom and a grandma, I'm really excited about this one. So the children we've received so far, I love this picture. These are the first 2 kids that ever came to Bridge Receiving Center, these 2 sisters. So 106 children we've received to date, and you can see a little spread there. Most of them are 4 to 8 years old. As I said, youngest child helped is 2, and the oldest has been 15. 69% of the kids we receive are part of a sibling set. And that's exciting news because most siblings at the beginning of care, at least, are split up and sent to different places. So we've had from 2 to 4 siblings in a group. We've had, I think, 3 or 4 groups of 4. And one of them was all boys, and boy, they were active. And I can't imagine one home taking those all kids on at the beginning. So yeah, so we're excited about that. And then 64% of the kids have been boys. You can see the racial breakdown. 61% have been from the region that includes Lake Stevens. So the way foster care works, it's not really by city, it's by region. So most of them, but we have had kids from all over Washington State, Vancouver, Spokane, all the way up north near Canada. I mean, it's amazing to me the calls we get asking if kids could come to Bridge from all over the state. So there's a huge need for things like Bridge Receiving Center. Current system had 72-hour facilities. So the state had 72 hours to figure out what was going to happen in the life of that child. But they didn't have anything like Bridge where you didn't either become permanently there or you weren't there for a year or you weren't there for 3 days. So we're that nice, happy medium where we can work with the state to have kids stay as long as they need to. Average length of stay, 21 nights. As you can see, 42% stay longer than that 30-day period. And our longest child stayed 113 nights. This was a little boy that every time it came up that it was time to evaluate, we said to the state, where is he going to go? And they went into a motel room with a couple of social workers. We went, that's exactly why we created Bridge, not to do that. So we said, we'll extend again, we'll extend again. That boy had a flag on his system that said animal cruelty, potential animal cruelty. So honestly, nobody wanted to take him. And through our horse equine program, and it was with horses, with the animal. We actually watched that little boy develop these beautiful relationships with the horses. One story, he was really upset. He escalated, he ran off, our staff member went to sit by him and the entire, I'm gonna tear up, all the horses followed him and then the goats and then the chickens and they surrounded him and he just sat there with them petting them. And we were like, this isn't a boy that's gonna do violence to these animals. So we don't usually say a whole lot. I won't tell you his identity or anything, but he actually was able to go into a 1-year behavioral program that's a horse ranch. And they took him and he's thriving and loves it. And he contacts the staff a lot. And then after that, he will be able to be in a place where he can go into a home. So that was just one of my best stories. Shortest is a night. We do have kids that just come for the night. Can't do much there other than just tell them that they're safe and that you care about them. So really what Bridge is trying to do is create stability, reduce trauma, and help children know that it's not their fault. So again, children that have lost connection to their homes at least have connections to siblings. Statistics show that if you can keep a child connected to family, even if it's a dysregulated family, they do better than if you lose all connection with family. Obviously, there's cases where you just need to lose those ties. But if you can keep them connected, it's a good thing. So 69% of our kids come with their siblings. 66% of our children move either back home with a safety plan in place, or they go to live with relatives or fictive kin. Fictive kin is a family member that the family considers, a family friend, sorry, that the family considers like family. So 66% of our kids are going with some kind of a familial connection. And 70% of the children are still in their same initial post-bridge placement 9 months after leaving. We're trying to move that to a year, but it's really hard to get social workers to follow up with us. So that's the only way we can do it. We don't have contact with the kids unless they reach out to us. So we depend on their social worker. And honestly, with the way the social worker systems have been going, they've been not lasting all that long, social workers. So we're trying to get people to work on cases and give us reports. But of the ones we've been able to, 70% of them are in the same placement. Those are actually pretty unheard of statistics if you know anything about foster care. So for the fact that these kids, wherever they went after Bridge, they're still there. 70% of them are still there. And some of them have moved for positive things. So some of them went into foster care and then were able to go back home. So, but it still counts as a movement. So yeah, stability, consistency, some for the very first time, and then placement stability after they leave, which that reduces felt trauma, increases trust, and gives a greater sense of safety and security. Here's a quote from a 14-year-old that left this week. I'll be sad to leave Bridge. I've never had consistency and structure in my life, and it feels so good. So that just feels really beautiful to us that we can. Here's some outcomes that make a difference. Of the 100 kids who have exited, because we have five in there right now. Every single one have exhibited less stress and trauma, reported feeling less stress. Everyone has received their own individual support, better problem-solving skills, way to deal with their emotions, outbursts, and escalations. Every child was able to stay at Bridge as long as they needed to find the best next place. And only 3 children have had to return to care since leaving Bridge, and one of those was by voluntary placement. That's huge. I mean, that statistic, I told a couple social workers that, and they were like, you're kidding. That's amazing. And it's just because we're able to care for the child and give them skills and tools. Because everybody gets trained in foster care. You can't be a foster parent without getting trained. The bio parents are getting some training, the social workers are getting training, but nobody's been training these children. And so we're giving them training and tools to understand what's going on, to help them speak up for themselves. And, you know, we've had kids, we had 2 siblings that were nonverbal, non-potty trained. They were 6 and 7 years old. And by the time they left, one was speaking and the other one was at least signing and interacting. So all the way to one boy that broke every wall that I can think of in the house. We have a team called Bridge Tenders. These are volunteer handy people that come and repair the walls when children leave, because our house takes a beating because the kids are really upset. He had probably broken every wall, and he was the sweetest guy when he left and really just felt safe and secure. So that to us is just like, you know, we're doing something good. Here's some words from the kids. I don't know if you can read this one here, this 12-year-old. My favorite things about Bridge, I feel safe. I love the staff here. I get food. Almost every child that comes to Bridge is from food insecurity. They hide the food. They're afraid they're not going to have enough. So we have food everywhere at Bridge, and we show them, here's food, here's food. You want it? Go get it. You don't have to ask us. Go get it. We are teaching children that you can sit at a table and eat. Most of our kids don't have any concept of dinner time, meal time. What is that? And vegetables. We're introducing it. We have a garden where we're growing vegetables and the kids help. They don't have any concept of that. They haven't had any access to those things. And then I love you guys. I love that one. What you guys do makes hard situations better, like it did for us. That was the oldest brother of 4. I hope you keep on helping other kids who need you. Don't stop. So all those are quotes from the kids. I love that. I'm not old enough, but when I get out, I'd really like to figure out a way to help you guys. I think that's maybe a future nonprofit fundraiser or something. So that one got my attention. And then this is our current campaign. If anybody feels like donating, a better start with Bridge. We're trying to raise $40,000 for a couple of different causes. And this is one of them. So Bridge Receiving Center is a remodeled house and does not have enough space in it. So we've got this tiny house here that we're going to turn into a private counseling space, because right now when kids get counseled by our clinical therapist or meet with our case manager, who's the same person, which is beautiful to have the same person doing both of those roles. They meet in the staff office and kick the staff out, and you can still hear all the noise around of the kids, and it's very distracting for the kids. So we need a private space for kids to meet with the therapist. And we also need that private space for kids to do their family Zoom meetings. So we allow no parent on Bridge site. We don't publicize our address. We have had parents trying to get their kids out, so we are really careful about safety. But we do Zoom meetings with the family, and those are really emotional meetings that a child really needs to process and not have a bunch of kids all around them as soon as they walk out of the office. So we're trying to refurbish this place to provide for that. It also will give our older kids, we've got a lot of teens, especially right now with the 2 and 3-year-old that are like, this is really a noisy place. I worked there for 4 hours on Monday. I went, you're right, it is a really noisy place. So we do need a little quiet space for them too when it's not being used. But this will provide not only that safe private space, but the therapist will be able to be there in the Zoom calls without being in the frame. Because you can imagine what that does to a parent that sees someone there while they're trying to interact with their child. So that'll keep it a little bit, feel better for the parents, for the child will still see my therapist is right here. I'm safe, I'm protected. They're gonna hear everything that's going on. So yeah, that's it. So try to do that fast because I know, hope I'm ran over, sorry about that. But I just really appreciate you guys and your interest in what we're doing. And it's pretty remarkable to me that we haven't found anything in the nation like Bridge Receiving Center. And it started in Lake Stevens. So you guys can feel good about that this was all started right here in your community. And the community's been super supportive to us. We're just really grateful. The police, the fire department, everybody that comes out has just been wonderful. So thanks so much. Yeah.
So my friends on Facebook with Bridge Receiving.
Wonderful.
And so I'd encourage everybody to do that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love is your Giving Wednesday.
Yes.
And so,
Wish List Wednesday.
Wish List, that's it. Wish List Wednesday.
Yeah, so we have an Amazon shopping list. Right now we've got these certain bins on it because we bought a storage container because there's no storage in the house. And that's where we're storing all our donations, but we need more bins. So that's on the shopping list. Yeah, so.
I tried to order some of them, but they couldn't deliver them.
Well, email me or the trick is with that, it's supposed to go to the P.O. box.
I think that's the reason why.
And P.O. boxes won't take things like that, but I do have a street address for it because we can't publicize the address. It's tricky. Yeah, so anyway, but yeah, we've got a newsletter. Usually it's once a month and I send out really beautiful stories, honest stories. So our staff has a hard time. We have a hard time keeping some of the direct care staff on because it is a really heartbreaking job. Yeah, or there's the P.O. box, or there is a physical component, you know, the P.O. box is in a post office, so I can give you the post office address. But yeah, so thank you. I don't know if there's any questions or if you just, yeah, here.
Not a question, but Joyce and Tracy and I went there, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, before.
Yeah.
We had to wait for the kids to not be on site. I think they were off doing a project, program.
Yeah, we can't allow anyone to be there that isn't background checked and security cleared. So yeah, when people come, we have the kids either go to the camp or do a project.
But it was a great experience for all 3 of us.
I'm glad. Yeah, it was lovely having you there. Yeah. Yes.
I just want to say, I can tell you how much I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
This should be across the United States.
That's our goal.
We ought to change what's happening in our world.
Yes, thank you.
We have to work with it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we're just starting to understand what trauma does and what trauma does to the victims of it. I mean, these innocent children that truly have done nothing, that every single one has said it's my fault that I'm here. So can you imagine? They had no one to talk to about it. Yeah, our goal is not to have, I mean, we don't want to hold on to it. We're going to launch these 3 in Washington State, and then we're going to be a resource to anyone. There's a number of camps, because our Camp Connection, I didn't highlight it, that's really key with Bridge Receiving Centers, this Camp Connection. Kids get to tell people, I'm at this really cool camp, you know, that I get to do the rock wall and I get to do go-karts and all this fun stuff. But there are unused camps all across the United States because camping is kind of going by the wayside, and there's a bunch of churches that have camps and service groups and all of that. So we see that anybody could do this. So we're going to start doing conferences in the years to come saying, we'll train you what we did. We learned the hard way, and we'll train you how to do it. And we actually have had, there's a woman in a tribe in Montana that's doing her own version of this, and Idaho. So we have had people reach out. We would love to spread the word and have other people do the same thing. So anyway, thanks so much, everybody. Yeah.
Amazing program you have there, so.
I don't know how to get that out.
That's us. So we're gonna
Thank you.
donate $25 to the Dolly Parton Education Foundation and the Treasure Saving Honor. So yeah,
Thank you.
amazing. I mean, that's a real serious thing.
It's fun to see it go from concept, because I was the first employee. I was the only employee for 2 years trying to raise the money. And it's really fun going, wow, we did it, and we're really helping kids. So yeah. But thanks to people like you that care. So awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. Any further comments,
I'll leave
questions?
some brochures up here if anybody wants.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.